Chapter 4. Plants, Adapting to Survive. In this lesson, plants and their kinds, terrestrial plants, aquatic plants, plants of the grass family, insectivorous plants, fungi, rainforests. Plants and their kinds. Plants grow everywhere. They grow on mountains, deserts, in rivers, ponds, ocean floors, river plains, valleys, and even in the frozen wastes of the Arctic Circle. Plants differ from each other depending on the surroundings in which they grow. The ability of plants to adjust to the changes in their environment is called adaptation. Habitat is the surroundings in which a plant lives. Plants are basically divided into the following two groups. 1. Terrestrial plants, plants that grow on land. 2. Aquatic plants, plants that grow in water. Terrestrial plants. Terrestrial plants are those which grow on land. They grow at different places on land like hills, plains, valleys, deserts and marshy areas. In mountainous areas, the climate is cold and dry in the mountains. Plants that grow on mountains are tall, straight and conical. The leaves are needle-like which help the snow to slide down and avoid water loss. The leaves have a few stomata which do not lose much water. Pine, fir, cedar and spruce are examples of some such trees. Such trees grow cones instead of flowers. They are called conifers. In the plains, trees that grow in the plains have a lot of branches. They have a thick bark. Most of the trees that grow in the plains shed their leaves in winter to protect themselves from cold. Examples are banyan, mango, neem, peepal, shisham and sal. Leaves of these plants have flat broad surfaces. Stomata of these leaves help in the evaporation of water vapor. This keeps the trees cool during the hot season. In hot and damp places, plants growing in hot and damp places like seacoasts have a lot of leaves. These trees need not shed their leaves as there is plenty of sunshine and water throughout the year. They are called evergreen trees as they remain green throughout the year. Examples are coconut and teak. Some other trees like pepper, rubber, sugarcane, rice and cotton also grow here. In deserts, it is very hot and there is very little water. Plants like cactus and palm grow in such areas. Desert plants have long roots that grow deep into the soil to get underground water. Most of the plants do not have leaves. They have spines instead to prevent water loss. The green and fleshy stems of cactus and other plants make food for the plants. They also store food and water. In marshy areas, soil in marshy areas is sticky, wet and rich in clay. Water cannot drain out from the soil. The roots of the plants do not get air as the soil is covered with water. Trees that grow here are called mangroves. Their roots grow above the soil to help them breathe. Such roots are called breathing roots. Some of the plants growing in marshy areas include marsh marigold, rhizophora, marsh arrowgrass, bog stitchwort, etc. Aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are of three types: floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater or submerged plants. Floating plants. Floating plants float freely on the top of water because they are either light or small in size. Water hyacinth, water lettuce and duckweed are such plants. Small water animals are protected from the heat of the sun by these plants. Fixed plants. Some plants are fixed to the bottom of the pond by their roots. The flowers and the leaves float as they have hollow and light stems. The leaves of such plants are broad and flat and have stomata only on the upper side. They are covered with wax so they do not get wet. Odd examples of such plants are lotus and water lily. Tiny birds, frogs and some insects use these broad, floating leaves to breed and nest. Underwater plants. Some plants remain underwater. Examples are hydrilla and tape grass. These plants are fixed to the soil by their roots. They have thin, narrow, ribbon-like leaves with no stomata. Such leaves arise in clusters from the root. These plants breathe through their body surface. Water is abundant in surroundings, so there is no need for transpiration to help cooling and transport of water and minerals into leaves. Such plants clean water by taking in carbon dioxide dissolved in water breathed out by fish and other aquatic animals and releasing oxygen into it. Such plants are therefore put in aquariums. Plants of the grass family. Grains like rice, wheat, maize belong to the grass family. Sugarcane and bamboo also belong to the grass family. They are called giant grasses. These plants are useful to us in many ways. Humans eat grains of cereal plants like wheat, rice, jowar, bajra. Grasses are a good source of fodder for animals. Bamboo is used to make brooms, baskets, chairs, mats, toys and huts. Bamboo shoots are eaten in many parts of India, especially in the northeast region. They are rich in vitamins and amino acids. Dried grass is also used as packing material. Cane is used to make furniture. Paper is made from bamboo and also from several kinds of grasses. Paper was first made in ancient Egypt from a grass called papyrus. The word paper comes from this word. Some grasses are also used to prepare medicines. Grasses help to fix the soil with their roots and prevent it from being washed or blown away by water or wind. Insectivorous plants. Some plants are not able to produce their own food. They eat insects and are called insectivorous plants. Examples are Venus flytrap, pitcher plant and sundew plant. The leaves of the Venus flytrap are like two halves of a trap. When an insect sits on the leaf, the two halves shut and the insect is trapped inside. The sundew plant has sticky hair on its leaves that trap insects. In a pitcher plant, the leaf is modified into a pitcher. Once an insect falls in this pitcher, it is digested inside. Fungi. Mushrooms and bread molds are examples of fungi. They get their food from dead animals and plants, as they cannot produce their own food. Rainforests. The regions around the equator have hot and wet climate all round the year. Dense rainforests grow in these regions, having tall and short trees and plenty of climbers. Leaves, ferns and fungi cover the ground, and some areas remain dark even in daytime due to a thick canopy of trees. An amazing variety of animals live in these rainforests. Rainforests are mostly found in parts of Southeast Asia, Africa, South America and Australia. Some rainforests are also found to a lesser extent in other semi-equatorial and tropical countries. In India, rainforests exist in Kerala, Western Ghats, and Northeast region.